Oh yeah. This is the truth behind the beef with Charlie Baltimore and Little Kim. Now, when Little Kim and Big came out doing their thing with Junior Mafia, you know, everybody assumed Biggie and Little Kim were closer than close. Just from the appeal of it, to the general public. But then when he came out with Married with Faith and all of this stuff, then, nobody really thought about it. And she became like the little sister of the group. And everybody thought like her and Lil C's was messing around. That was the initial thing of it. They was like, no, that's like her little brother. But people didn't think Biggie was really doing anything to the general public. And the more Junior Mafia started to like dissolve into just C's and Lil Kim, and the rest of them kind of got cut out, then you kind of seen them, it was a little bit more than what it was. With what was going on with their situation. As all of these fights start breaking out between Faith Evans and Lil Kim, in the midst of all this, and outside, I think they were outside going into a party or something, he saw Charlie Baltimore. And they hit it off, and she rapped for him and was like, I can rhyme, and did all this. And she was thinking more about a career than a relationship. And Big just scooped her up that night and was like, you coming with me? And that was it. And she went. Now, she knew the situation with Faith, but she don't care. She's used to this position. She's a Philly girl. And at that time, nobody called her Charlie Baltimore. She was just Tiffany. So when he was, bringing her around and everything, Big was like, thought she was the most glamorous thing ever. And they talked and all this stuff and talking about, man, I'm gonna bring her into the group. And at this time, like, Little Kim didn't know that they were dating at first. She's like, okay, this is the new group artist. Her name is gonna be Charlie Baltimore. Because when Big was in the car accident, she was in the car with Biggie when they had the accident. He got thrown from the car and all that stuff. So when they was both in the hospital together, that's when they came up with the Charlie Baltimore thing. Like, now she went from Tiffany turning into Charlie Baltimore. Her and Big went and saw that movie together, and he thought that was incredible. The Long Kiss Goodnight, he loved it. Of course, we know he loved it because he named the song after it. But after this, things changed. Lil Kim started, getting all these feelings because they was like basically dating. Like, Big would do whatever he wanted with Kim, but there was no public affection, like no public notification or like to tell people this is my girl. And she's like, what does these other chicks got that I don't got? I love you, like I'm there for you. I like independently, directly to you. I ain't mess around with no other dudes. That's how Kim looked at it. Like, we supposed to be ride or die. And like, why do you keep going to grab these other women? Like, what do they have that I don't? And this was her being looking at Biggie like a father figure, you know, like she needed that strong father figure in her life. And they had a little altercation because, you know, Faith and her, they had a discussion. And she realized that that was Biggie's girlfriend. Big made it clear that, you know, Charlie Baltimore is my girl. You know, to Faith. You know, even though she's like, I'm not stupid. I know he still loved his wife. And they had a baby together. And Big had all three. And probably others. But the fact that they could be that delusional not to know that, I'm like, how did you not know Lil' Kim was sleeping with Biggie at that time? And the general public believes it. You know, and they thinking, oh, that's what's happening with Biggie. Him and Lil' Kim messing around, and that's it. So, one day, I think it was, she was at Biggie's house and she answered Biggie's phone. And that drove Lil' Kim crazy. Because Biggie had told her he was breaking up with Tiffany. So, you know, one of the nights he wanted to smash, so he had to tell her what he wanted to she wanted to hear. Like, I don't know why I ain't finna give it up tonight if you gonna be with him, but he knew how to manipulate Kim so he can get what he wanted. So, of course, he ran the game and told her he breaking up with her. He had no intentions of doing so, but he just needed to get his shot off. So, after this, you know, she called the house and she answered the phone. Kim just went off. You know, and this is somebody, like, just a few days before that, you know, she had the jury on. She was like, oh, that's nice. Well, who got you that? You get that for Christmas? And she was like, yeah, Big got it for me for Christmas. And she was like, she almost was about to cry. She said Lil' Kim was almost about to cry. So her face was like balling up. And she just walked off. And then Big was like, yeah, you think I should get Kim something for Christmas? You know, that'd be only right, you know, because she's in the group. You know, I should get her something for Christmas. Maybe a watch or something. Because he knew, and she still didn't even know at that time. Only when Kim called the house, and she knew specific things. She was like, I was there last night. What are you doing there? So Kim started going into all these details of what she did with him on the phone and how he put it down and what she did to him and how she ain't important. You know, just like any regular thought would do when they upset that another chick is in the house. So at this point, things switch, and Charlie Baltimore is like, look, I can tell you one thing. I'm here right now, and you ain't coming over here. That's it. So she was talking about how many people she could have do what and do this and do that. But she never wanted no problems with Charlie Baltimore. So, when this was over, Charlie Baltimore went to Big and was like, that's it. You in the doghouse now. You know, like, you want this chick here, you got her. So, when she stepped away, like, you want her, you got her. And just be you and Kim. And he was like, she was like, I'm not finna be like Lil' Kim, just sit in the dark and play my position. He was like, no. So Big had a interview on the radio show, and he went out there and told the whole world, like, I got a girl, her name's Tiffany. You know, that's my girl now. So he was like, I just went on the radio and told everybody you my girl. Like, you can't leave me now because I just told the whole world we together. So, like, I did that for you. So, like, I'm back in your good graces. Don't kick me. Hey, you ain't leaving. And Big went and bought her a car. He was going to make her a star. And the commission, he was going to try to put Little Kim in the group with Charlie Baltimore, and that thing was going to be disastrous. Little Kim's name was Big Mama. Charlie Baltimore, he was Frank White. Puffy was Paulie. Jay-Z was Iceberg Slim. So at Big's funeral, you know, Lil' Kim is rolling around, almost jumping in the casket with Big. They had to tackle her. I mean, she was out of control at the funeral, to where Charlie Baltimore thought, like, man, this chick is fake. Like, why is she doing all this? And maybe she's delusionally, like, in love. I don't think Kim was being fake. Kim was being real. She loved Big. It might not have been, you know, mutual in return the same way, but she did love Big. So, on that note, I 100% agree with Kim on that. Kim was 100% in love with Big. There's no way, shape, or form you can't even deny that. And the fact that Lil' Kim always look out for him, even after his death, you know, that shows how much love she had for him. It was more than like, oh, he gave me a career. She wasn't thinking that way. Charlie Baltimore was thinking more of like, oh, that's cool, we dating, but, you know, I'm thinking about my career, you know. So her thing with Jay-Z, you know, Jay wanted to be with Charlie Baltimore for the point of, you know, like, okay, now we can get like this commission thing going. And he had a meal in the group, and they were like friends, like, okay, we cool and everything. And he wanted to have like a Charlie Baltimore and use that fame off that. Like, oh, Biggie had Charlie Baltimore and had that, you know, that nostalgic thing going back. Like, we finna try to do the commission over here, and we can still make that go on. Like, yo, the commission remains. So that's what he was talking about. But Jay-Z was more on it's all about me, and you got to look up to me. I'm the man now. Big ain't here type thing. And, you know, Charlie Baltimore wasn't feeling that. You know, and he was dating Blue Cottrell at that time. So it was a lot of different stuff happening during those days. But Lil' Kim and her seeing each other, they never had, you know, they never speak. In other words, they had an interview at the same radio station, so they both was waiting in the lobby with their crews to go do their parts, and they didn't even speak to each other. They sat on their sides of the room. Neither one would go speak to the other, because Lil' Kim don't like her as far as she can kick it. But Lil' Kim talking about she beat her up one day, and there was a rumor like, yeah, she beat up. Lil' Kim never put her hands on her. Never put her hands on her. Now, in 2009, I remember they had that spat because Lil' Kim was mad at Faith after they were, you know, after they all come together, and how Miss Wallace would portray Lil' Kim as being nothing but a sex tool and not a bigger part of Biggie's life, as more than just a sex object. And, you know, that's how she felt like the movie portrayed her as. So when that came about, you know, and they start putting the film together and doing all these other things, you know, the Charlie Baltimore had to express it like wow, like I dated. It was like, man. It's like, man, you could always, you know, go ahead and do these interviews and radio shows, but she's like, I'm not gonna do that. You know, she's on these radio shows going around telling everybody, yeah, I was with Big. She's like, that's just disrespectful. He's like, even though he was like, they were separated going through a divorce, him and his wife, but he was a married man, you know what I'm saying? For you to keep reiterating over and over, like, I was with Biggie. You know, that's not cool. So she looked at that as like real petty. You know, like, I can't believe she would do something like that. You know, like, that's kind of tacky to do. You know, and the fact that she expressed, like, look, you were not Biggie's girl. I was Biggie's girl. Now, let's get that straight. I was with Biggie, not you. I was in a relationship with Biggie. You were not in a relationship with Biggie. And Faith even had to confirm that. Like, he was dating Tiffany. He was not, like, in a relationship with Lil' Kim. And Lil' Kim keeps acting as if they were in a relationship. And it's like that wasn't the case, no matter how she felt about it. So, on that note, your boy Carcino, I'm out. Don't forget to subscribe. And matter of fact, check again if you subscribe. Just like I told you before, they on some crazy activity right now. So a lot of my subscribers are not seeing their notifications. Can you please check to make sure you're getting the notifications? And don't forget to subscribe to the playlist. I'm out.